There are moments in your life when things begin to shift and you can't quite explain it. You feel different. People treat you differently. Doors open that were once bolted shut. And deep inside, you know something greater is at work. That's not luck. That's not coincidence. That is the hand of God. But here's the truth. When God blesses you, He doesn't always shout it from the heavens. He moves in silence. He plants seeds in places you never thought to look. And if you're not paying attention, you might miss the signs that your breakthrough is already here. So let me ask you something. Have you been feeling a shift lately? An unshakable peace, a sudden clarity, a sense that something bigger is about to happen. You see, when divine favor touches your life, it doesn't look like a miracle at first. It looks like discomfort, like a closed door, like isolation. But underneath it all, it's transformation, it's preparation, it's elevation. In the next few minutes, we're going to uncover 4 undeniable signs that God's blessing is already moving through your life. And once you understand these signs, you'll never doubt again. You'll walk different, think different, believe different. Because when God blesses you, it shows. Let's begin. When God begins to bless you, one of the first and most powerful signs you'll experience is an unshakable sense of inner peace and confidence. This peace doesn't depend on what's going on around you. It isn't the kind of calm that comes from a quiet room or a sunny day. It's deeper than that. It's the kind of peace that allows you to be still even in the middle of chaos. When the world is loud, when the bills are due, when the future is uncertain, you still walk with a calm spirit because something inside of you knows you're not alone. You're covered. You're chosen. You're guided. This peace doesn't come from man. It doesn't come from money, from applause, or from achievements. It comes from alignment. When you are in alignment with your purpose and the path God designed for you, something clicks in your soul. You stop chasing. You stop striving. You stop comparing your journey to someone else's. Instead, you begin to trust. You begin to listen to that still, small voice that says, "Keep going, I've got you." And with that peace comes confidence. Not arrogance, not pride, but divine confidence. A deep knowing that you were made for more, that your presence on this earth is not an accident. You stop second-guessing yourself. You no longer need validation from the world because you've received confirmation from a higher power. That confirmation might not come in the form of thunder or lightning. It might come quietly, through your thoughts, through a conversation, through a moment of clarity, while you're sitting alone in silence. But once it comes, you'll know it, you'll feel it. Confidence born from a divine blessing looks different. It's not loud. It doesn't have to announce itself. It's in your walk, in the way you speak, in how you handle conflict. You stop reacting to every little thing. You start observing. You start responding with wisdom. You start moving with purpose. People notice the change in you. They may not be able to explain it, but they can feel it. You've become grounded, rooted, steady. And the reason this happens is because God doesn't bless chaos. He doesn't pour favor into confusion. So when He prepares to bless you, He begins by calming the storm inside of you. You may have been fighting your own mind, battling your fears, wrestling with doubt, but then one day you wake up and the weight you've been carrying feels lighter. The things that used to scare you no longer hold power over you. That's not coincidence. That's evidence of God working within you. Inner peace is one of the most overlooked blessings, but it's also one of the most powerful. It's what allows you to keep building even when no one claps for you. It's what allows you to keep believing even when the evidence says otherwise. You no longer operate from a place of desperation. You operate from a place of assurance. You don't chase opportunities. They begin to flow to you because you are no longer blocking them with your fear and anxiety. Peace and confidence go hand in hand. And when you're in peace with who you are and where you're going, confidence becomes your natural state. You're no longer trying to prove anything. You're simply showing up as who you were always meant to be. This is what happens when God blesses your spirit first. He fortifies you from the inside out. And here's the thing. This shift doesn't always make sense to other people. In fact, when you begin to walk in peace, some people may try to disrupt it. They may question your calmness. They may poke at you, provoke you, try to bring you back to the old version of yourself. But when you're truly blessed, those things don't work anymore. You've outgrown the need to be reactive. You understand now that your peace is power, that silence is strength, that confidence doesn't need to shout. When God places this kind of peace in your heart, it becomes your compass. You stop being swayed by every storm, every critic, every distraction. You start listening more to the whispers of your soul and less to the noise of the world. You realize that some of the greatest breakthroughs come not when everything around you changes, but when you change. When you stop doubting and start declaring, when you stop worrying and start walking. This inner shift also affects how you approach your goal. You stop hustling just to be seen. You start building with intention. You're not rushed, that you're focused. You're not frantic, but you're moving. You understand now that everything has its time, and if God has promised it, no man can stop it. This kind of mindset is what separates those who merely wish for blessings from those who are already walking in them. Your confidence becomes contagious, not because you're trying to impress anyone, but because you embody certainty. You trust the timing. You trust the process. And most importantly, you trust the source. People begin to wonder how you remain so calm, how you keep moving forward with such faith, and the answer is simple. You've seen too much. You've survived too much. You've learned that God didn't bring you this far to leave you now. That understanding becomes your foundation. It becomes the rock you stand on when everything else feels shaky. And in that space of inner calm and spiritual confidence, you begin to attract peace externally too. The right people start to come into your life. The right opportunities start to find you, not because you chased them, but because you became aligned with the frequency of your calling. When you stop chasing noise and start cultivating peace, you make room for divine blessings to flow in. When that happens, you stop living in survival mode. You start living in purpose mode. You begin to operate not from fear of what could go wrong, but from faith in what's meant to go right. You start speaking different. You start thinking different. You start expecting good things, not because life has always been easy, but because you now understand who's guiding your steps. When God begins to bless you, one of the most remarkable things you will start to notice is that abundance begins to show up in the most unexpected places. It's not always in the form of a paycheck, a promotion, or something easily measurable in the material world. Instead, abundance often arrives quietly, in ways that may initially seem insignificant, but when you reflect on them, you realize they were exactly what you needed all along. At first, these blessings might come disguised as challenges. You might experience a sudden change in your life, a job loss, the end of a relationship, a financial struggle, and in the midst of that difficulty, you may question why these things are happening. You might feel discouraged or frustrated, but this is where divine wisdom plays its role. God often allows these moments of struggle to create space for something better to enter your life. This space may feel uncomfortable at first, but it's creating room for new opportunities to take root. You might find yourself in a situation where everything around you seems uncertain. Bills are piling up, your career feels stagnant, or you're stuck in a rut that you can't seem to break out of. But in the middle of that very struggle, you might unexpectedly meet someone who opens a door for you, shares a piece of advice that leads to your next breakthrough, or connects you to an opportunity you never imagined. These are the moments when God's blessings come through people and situations you would never expect. It's a reminder that divine favor isn't always loud. Sometimes it's subtle. It's often in the quiet moments when you least expect it that abundance starts to flow. Perhaps you've experienced a time when you were feeling lost, unsure of what direction to take. And then out of nowhere, you're invited to a gathering, or you strike up a conversation with a stranger that leads to an idea, an opportunity, or a partnership that completely changes your path. You may have felt isolated, yet someone reaches out to you in a way that lifts you, offers you support, or reminds you of your worth. These moments are not coincidence. They are signs of divine intervention in your life, showing you that blessings are often found in places where you least expect them. Another example of abundance in unexpected places is the gift of perspective. God may bless you with new insights, new ways of thinking, and the ability to see things in a different light.
You may find yourself in a situation where things seem impossible, but you suddenly have a breakthrough moment, a realization that shifts everything for you. It could be something as simple as a new way of approaching a problem, or it could be a profound change in your mindset. It might come from a conversation, a book, or even a moment of reflection. The blessing of perspective is one that opens doors you didn't even know were there, leading to opportunities that you couldn't have foreseen. And sometimes the abundance that shows up in unexpected places comes in the form of relationships. We often focus on financial abundance, but true wealth lies in the relationships we build and the connections we make. God doesn't always bless us with material wealth first. Often He begins by sending people into our lives who help us grow, teach us, and offer us the support we need. These relationships may not come in the package we expect. It might not be a mentor or a business partner that shows up first. It might be a friend who simply listens when you need to talk, or a colleague who shares a new opportunity with you. These connections, while they may seem small or insignificant at first, carry with them the potential to change your life in ways you can't predict.
The unexpected abundance that arrives in these relationships is the kind of blessing that lasts. It's the kind of wealth that grows with time, creating a network of support and encouragement. These connections often lead to opportunities you never imagined, allowing you to step into roles and experiences that align with your true purpose. Through the kindness of others, through their words and actions, you begin to realize that the universe is always conspiring in your favor, even when it feels like you're facing obstacles. Sometimes the abundance you receive might not be something tangible at all. It could be the gift of time. How often do we get so caught up in chasing the future that we forget to appreciate the present moment? When God blesses you, He might slow down your life so you can appreciate the small things, the quiet moments with loved ones, the time to rest and recharge, the time to reflect and grow. Time itself becomes a precious gift, one that allows you to gain clarity, deepen your relationships, and reconnect with your true self. This type of abundance is one that is often overlooked, but it's just as important, if not more so, than any material possession. In addition to relationships and perspective, abundance can come through your own personal growth. God often blesses us by guiding us through difficult experiences that shape us into better versions of ourselves. These moments may not feel like blessings at first, but as you look back, you realize they were the very things that helped you grow stronger, wiser, and more capable. These challenges prepare you for the greater blessings to come. They build your character, strengthen your resolve, and equip you to handle the bigger opportunities that God has waiting for you. The growth that comes through hardship is an unexpected blessing in itself, one that transforms you from the inside out. When abundance shows up in unexpected places, it often requires us to shift our mindset. Instead of focusing on what's missing, we begin to focus on what's already present. We shift from scarcity to abundance, from fear to faith. We begin to see every situation as an opportunity, every person we meet as a potential blessing, and every challenge as a chance to grow. This shift in perspective is often the most profound blessing of all. In essence, when God blesses you, He does not always deliver your blessing in the way you expect. It might not be in the form of a check in the mail or a sudden windfall of wealth. It might be something much more subtle, an unexpected opportunity, a new relationship, a shift in perspective, or a moment of clarity. The beauty of these blessings is that they often come when you least expect them, and when they do, they carry with them the power to change your life in ways you never imagined. When you learn to see the abundance in these unexpected places, you open yourself up to a world of possibilities where every moment holds the potential for divine intervention and growth. When God blesses you, one of the most profound signs you will experience is the emergence of a clear sense of purpose in your life. This clarity is not something that can be forced or manufactured. It doesn't come from your own striving, nor can it be obtained by simply following someone else's blueprint for success. Instead, it is a divine gift, one that unfolds naturally as you align yourself with your true calling and the path that has been destined for you. A clear sense of purpose is powerful because it provides direction and meaning to everything you do. It is the compass that guides your decisions, your actions, and your inner interactions. When you are walking in alignment with your purpose, there is a sense of flow to your life. Things that once seemed uncertain or confusing begin to make sense. Even the obstacles you face start to take on a new meaning because you understand that they are not random. They are part of your journey, shaping you, strengthening you, and preparing you for the next step. This clarity of purpose is not always immediate. It often emerges slowly as a quiet whisper within you, guiding you toward the things that truly matter. In the beginning, it may seem like a vague sense of calling, a deep desire to make a difference, or an inner knowing that you are meant for something greater. It doesn't come with fanfare, but when it arrives, you know it. You begin to recognize that your life is not meant to be spent on aimless pursuits or distractions. Instead, you are drawn toward a specific mission, something that aligns with the gifts and talents that have been uniquely given to you. A clear sense of purpose also brings with it an incredible sense of peace. When you know why you're here, when you understand the reason for your existence, everything falls into place. You stop worrying about the future because you know that your steps are guided, and you stop doubting yourself because you trust that the path you are on is the one that was meant for you. It is in this peace that confidence begins to grow. You no longer feel the need to chase after validation or approval from others because you are certain that you are on the right track. This confidence isn't based on arrogance or pride, but on a deep, unshakable faith in your purpose. In moments of struggle or adversity, your sense of purpose becomes a source of strength. It is the anchor that holds you steady when life feels overwhelming. Challenges that might have once derailed you no longer have the same power over you. You begin to see each challenge as a lesson, an opportunity to grow and develop into the person you were always meant to be. Even when things are difficult, you know that you are being prepared for something bigger. Your sense of purpose turns setbacks into comebacks, failures into learning experiences, and obstacles into stepping stones. When you walk in your purpose, you also find that you attract the right opportunities and people into your life. There is a magnetic quality to purpose. When you are clear about your mission, when you are authentically aligned with who you are and what you are meant to do, the universe begins to conspire in your favor. You begin to see doors open that you never could have imagined, relationships form that propel you forward. Opportunities arise that you once thought were out of reach. This alignment doesn't happen by chance. It happens because you are now in the flow of your divine calling. The beauty of a clear sense of purpose is that it doesn't require you to have everything figured out all at once. The journey of discovering your purpose is often a process of trial and error, of learning what works for you and what doesn't. It's about exploring different avenues, stepping into new opportunities, and seeing where your passion leads you. There is no one-size-fits-all formula. The key is to stay open, to listen to your inner guidance, and to trust the process. This trust is essential because the path to purpose is rarely a straight line. There will be moments when you feel uncertain, when you question whether you are on the right track, and when doubt creeps in. But it is in these moments that your faith is tested, and it is through these tests that your clarity and conviction in your purpose become stronger. Trusting that the journey is unfolding as it should allows you to continue moving forward, even when the way forward is unclear. A clear sense of purpose also helps you prioritize what truly matters. In a world filled with distractions, it's easy to get sidetracked by things that don't serve your greater good. But when you are clear about your purpose, you can sift through the noise and focus on what truly aligns with your values and goals. You begin to say no to things that don't contribute to your growth, your mission, or your well-being. You become intentional with your time, your energy, and your resources. You stop wasting time on pursuits that don't lead anywhere and start investing in the things that truly matter. This clarity of purpose helps you make decisions more confidently. Instead of being pulled in 100 different directions, you begin to make choices that are in alignment with your purpose. Every decision becomes a step toward fulfilling your calling. This doesn't mean that every decision will be easy, but it does mean that you have a framework to guide you. You know what's important and what's not, and you make decisions accordingly. Moreover, a clear sense of purpose brings fulfillment in a way that nothing else can. Success in the world's eyes may come and go, but fulfillment comes from knowing that you are living in alignment with your true self. When you are living your purpose, you feel a deep sense of satisfaction and joy, not because of external achievements, but because you are fulfilling the very reason you were put on this earth. This fulfillment transcends material success and is the kind of joy that can't be taken away by circumstances. It's the kind of joy that comes from knowing that you are making a difference, that your life has meaning, and that you are part of something greater than yourself. In the end, when God blesses you with a clear sense of purpose, it transforms your life in ways you never could have imagined. It provides direction, peace, confidence, and fulfillment. It turns ordinary moments into extraordinary opportunities. It helps you navigate life's challenges with grace and resilience. And it ensures that you are always moving in the direction of your destiny, trusting that every step you take is part of the greater plan that God has for you. When God blesses you, one of the most beautiful manifestations of His favor is the growth in your relationships. Relationships are essential to the human experience. They shape who we are, influence the choices we make, and help define the course of our lives. Often the blessings that come from God are reflected in the connections we have with others, whether they be with family, friends, romantic partners, or even acquaintances. When these relationships grow, deepen, and become more meaningful, you can see the divine influence in action. At the core of relationship growth is the ability to see others as they are, with all their strengths, flaws, and potential. True growth in relationships doesn't come from merely tolerating each other or coexisting. It comes from a deeper understanding, respect, and the willingness to invest in one another's well-being. When God blesses a relationship, He provides the grace to look beyond the surface, to move past misunderstandings, and to connect on a deeper level. This divine blessing allows you to see people not just for who they are now, but for who they are capable of becoming, just as God sees you. One of the first signs of growth in relationships is the shift from judgment to compassion. Human nature often leads us to be quick to judge others based on their behavior, appearance, or past mistakes. However, when God blesses your relationships, He replaces judgment with empathy. You begin to recognize the struggles, pain, and challenges others have faced and understand why they may act or think the way they do. You no longer see people through a lens of criticism, but through the eyes of compassion and understanding. This change opens the door to deeper communication, healing, and connection, allowing both individuals in a relationship to feel safe, heard, and valued. As compassion deepens in your relationships, you also begin to experience more patience. Growing in patience means learning to tolerate imperfections, setbacks, and misunderstandings. You begin to accept that people are not perfect and that growth takes time. This patience is not about passively waiting for change, but about actively supporting and encouraging those around you as they evolve. It is a recognition that everyone is on their own journey, though when you may not understand all their actions or decisions, You trust that the process of growth will unfold as it should. This patience creates a space in relationships where individuals can be themselves without fear of judgment, knowing that they are loved unconditionally despite their flaws. Another aspect of growth in relationships is the development of mutual respect. As you grow spiritually and emotionally, you begin to see the value in honoring and respecting others for who they are, even when they may not share your views or beliefs. Respect goes beyond just tolerating differences. It means acknowledging the worth of the other person and recognizing their right to live according to their own values and convictions. When God blesses your relationships, He instills in you the ability to honor those around you, regardless of their background or experiences. This respect creates a foundation of trust and openness, allowing for honest communication and deeper bonds to form. As relationships grow, the concept of forgiveness becomes more central. No relationship is without its challenges, misunderstandings, or hurt feelings. However, when God blesses you, He gives you the strength to forgive, not just for the sake of the other person, but for your own peace and healing. Forgiveness allows you to release the burden of resentment and anger, freeing both you and the other person from the past. It opens the door to reconciliation and healing, enabling both parties to move forward together with a renewed sense of purpose and understanding. The ability to forgive is a divine gift that transforms relationships, turning them from places of pain into sources of strength and mutual growth. Growth in relationships is also marked by the willingness to sacrifice. True love and connection requires selflessness, and this selflessness often manifests in the form of sacrifice. When you are willing to put the needs of others before your own, to give without expecting anything in return, you create a space where love can flourish. This sacrifice is not about neglecting your own needs, but about finding a balance between your well-being and the well-being of those you care about. When God blesses your relationships, He guides you to find that balance, to understand when to give and when to step back, and to trust that by lifting others up, you are also being lifted in the process. As you grow in your relationships, you also begin to experience a shift in how you communicate. Communication is the cornerstone of any strong relationship. And when God blesses you, He guides you to communicate with honesty, kindness, and clarity. You learn to listen not just with your ears, but with your heart, seeking to understand before being understood. This type of communication builds trust and creates an environment where both individuals feel safe to express their thoughts, feelings, and needs without fear of rejection or criticism. Through this honest communication, misunderstandings are cleared up, conflicts are resolved, and bonds are strengthened. In addition to improving communication, God also blesses relationships with the ability to build together. As you grow in your connection with others, you begin to share more than just your time and attention. You begin to share your dreams, goals, and visions for the future. Growth in relationships means coming together to create something meaningful, whether that's a shared vision for your family, a business partnership, or a joint effort to make a positive impact in the world. God's blessings allow you to align your dreams with those of others, and together you begin to build something greater than what you could have accomplished alone. This building of a shared future requires trust and faith. It requires you to believe in one another and in the process of growth, knowing that while the road may not always be easy, the rewards will be worth the effort. When you trust in God's guidance and the process of growth, you are able to work together with others toward a common goal, creating a bond that is unbreakable. In the end, the growth in relationships that comes from God's blessings transforms not just the individuals involved, but also the world around them. Strong relationships create a ripple effect that touches others, spreading love, compassion, and understanding to everyone they come in contact with. When relationships grow in this way, they become a testament to the power of divine influence, a reflection of the love and grace that God has poured into our lives, and as these relationships continue to grow, they become a source of joy, fulfillment, and strength that sustains us through all the challenges life presents. When God blesses you,
One of the most profound signs you will experience is a transformation in your mindset. Your mindset shapes how you view the world, how you approach challenges, and how you respond to the circumstances of life. A shift in mindset is a powerful sign that divine blessings are at work in your life. This transformation doesn't happen overnight, nor is it always a dramatic, visible change. Rather, it's a gradual process that shifts your thoughts, attitudes, and beliefs in such a way that you begin to see life through a new lens, one that is filled with possibilities, growth, and faith.
A transformed mindset begins with a shift in perception. How you see the world and the events that unfold around you directly impacts how you respond to them. A mind that is blessed by God starts to see beyond the surface and understands that everything happens for a reason. Life's challenges, though difficult, are no longer seen as insurmountable obstacles, but as opportunities for growth, development, and divine intervention. What may have once seemed like a setback, disappointment, or failure is now viewed as a necessary part of the process, preparing you for greater things ahead. You learn to embrace the ups and downs of life, trusting that each experience is part of a bigger picture that is unfolding perfectly in line with your purpose. As your mindset transforms, you begin to develop a deeper sense of gratitude. Gratitude is not just a feeling, but a way of life. It changes the way you approach each day, every interaction, and every challenge. Instead of focusing on what you lack or what you wish were different, a transformed mindset focuses on what you have and the blessings that are already present in your life. When God blesses you, your heart becomes more attuned to the abundance around you, whether it's the relationships you have, the opportunities that come your way, or the simple joys of everyday life. This gratitude serves as a foundation for contentment, peace, and joy. It helps you focus on the present moment and appreciate the blessings that come with it, rather than constantly striving for something more or better. Another powerful shift that happens with a transformed mindset is the ability to believe in your potential. Too often, people limit themselves because they don't believe they are capable of achieving their dreams. Negative thoughts, self-doubt, and fear can create barriers that hold people back from stepping into their greatness. However, when God blesses you, He gives you the gift of belief, not just in Him, but in yourself. This belief is rooted in the understanding that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and that you have been given unique gifts, talents, and abilities to fulfill a specific purpose in this world. No longer do you see yourself as someone who is destined for mediocrity or failure. Instead, you see yourself as someone who is equipped for success, someone who is more than capable of achieving the dreams and goals that have been placed in your heart. With this newfound belief in yourself comes a profound shift in your attitude. The blessed mindset is one that is filled with confidence, not arrogance, but quiet assurance that you are capable of overcoming any obstacle and achieving your goals. You begin to approach life with a sense of boldness and courage, knowing that you are not walking this journey alone. The fear that once held you back starts to dissolve, replaced by a courageous faith that empowers you to take risks, try new things, and step out of your comfort zone. This transformation in attitude is one of the most powerful signs that God is at work in your life, for it is His strength that fills you with the confidence to move forward even in the face of uncertainty. Along with confidence comes the ability to persevere. A transformed mindset doesn't give up easily. It doesn't quit when things get tough or when the path becomes challenging. Instead, it presses on, knowing that the obstacles are not the end, but rather part of the journey. You begin to view challenges as opportunities to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. The setbacks that once would have caused you to quit now become stepping stones, pushing you toward greater success and fulfillment. The mindset that God blesses you with is one that refuses to be defeated. It is a mindset that sees difficulty as temporary, knowing that with persistence, faith, and determination, you will eventually come out stronger on the other side. This transformation in mindset also shifts how you view failure. For many, failure is a source of fear and discouragement. It is seen as a reflection of inadequacy or defeat. However, when God blesses your mindset, He redefines failure for you. Failure is no longer something to fear or avoid. It is simply a part of a learning process. You understand that failure does not define you, and that every failure brings with it valuable lessons that contribute to your growth and eventual success. With this mindset, you are free to take risks, to fail, and to learn, knowing that each setback is not the end, but a lesson in the making. Furthermore, a transformed mindset leads to a deep sense of self-awareness. You begin to understand your strengths and weaknesses, your passions and fears, and your true desires. This self-awareness allows you to make choices that are in alignment with your true self, and it enables you to focus your energy on what truly matters. No longer are you swayed by the opinions of others or the distractions of external validation. Your mindset shifts toward a deep understanding of who you are and what you are called to do. You no longer feel the need to prove yourself to anyone because you know your worth, your purpose, and the path that God has set before you. As your mindset continues to transform, you also become more open to learning and growth. You realize that the journey of self-improvement is lifelong and that there is always something new to discover. The mindset that God blesses you with is one that seeks wisdom, knowledge, and growth in all areas of life. You are no longer content with staying in the same place, but constantly seek to expand your horizons, to challenge yourself, and to become a better version of yourself every single day. This mindset shifts your focus from what you lack to what you can become, opening up a world of possibilities for your future. Ultimately, a transformation in mindset brings about a radical change in how you approach life. Your thoughts shift from fear, doubt, and limitation to faith, belief, and possibility. You begin to view the world not as a place full of obstacles, but as a field of opportunity. Your mindset becomes aligned with divine purpose, and you begin to see how every aspect of your life is leading you toward greater fulfillment. This transformation is a sign that God's blessings are at work in you. And as you embrace this new mindset, you begin to step into the fullness of your potential. A transformed mindset is one of the clearest signs of God's blessings in your life. As you shift from doubt to belief, from fear to confidence, and from limitations to possibility, you begin to see the world and your place in it with new eyes. This transformation empowers you to navigate life with faith, perseverance, and a deep sense of purpose. It enables you to face challenges with courage, to embrace opportunities with enthusiasm, and to pursue your dreams with unshakable conviction. When God blesses your mindset, you are no longer bound by the past or limited by your circumstances. Instead, you are free to become the person you were always meant to be, walking confidently toward your destiny, knowing that with God's guidance, anything is possible.